Welcome to Tony's Cool Tools. In today's episode, we're going to talk about something very important that I've been missing on this tractor and my last tractor. And if you're wondering what accessory that is, how to transport your chainsaw safely and easily on a tractor. Stay tuned. From this to this. I recently became acquainted with Kenny Finley from Sawhaul. He's the CEO and inventor of the Sawhaul. And if you're not familiar with what that is, it's a universal chainsaw holder, just like you see over here. And typical of the people in our firewood community, after a short conversation, I felt I knew him for years. And to be fully transparent, I'm not sponsored, nor is Kenny paying me to do this review on the Sawhaul and other products. Kenny shared an awesome story with me on how the Sawhaul came to be. Like many of us, Kenny was also doing firewood as a side hustle. He initially had a consumer-grade chainsaw and always wanted to have a pro saw. And at the time, Shannon, his wife, was going to school getting her teaching degree. For almost a year, she saved up enough money to buy Kenny a pro saw. So one evening after work, he had a couple hours to kill before dark and decided to go into the woods and buck up some logs. And afterwards, it was getting dark, so he hustled up and put everything in the bucket of his tractor, just like you see here. And in a little bit of a hurry to get home before it got dark, he was going a little too fast and hit a bump. And you can see where this is going. Everything in here was thrown out, and he ran over the new Pro chainsaw. Naturally, Kenny felt extremely bad. Learning from his mistake, he tried to find an accessory that could be mounted to his UTV, his ATV, or in some cases a commercial application like a Manlift bucket. Unfortunately, he couldn't find anything. Kenny took the challenge and decided he would build a chainsaw carrier. He was fortunate in that he enlisted the help of the local high school that was just getting into 3D printing and had CAD drawings as well. And before long, he had the first prototype. So the Sawhaul was born. And naturally, there were several versions before the product came to market. Several people that saw it said it was extremely innovative and that he should take it to market. Kenny had a vision on how he wanted to do this. His vision was to make the Sawhaul in the US. But better yet, he used the farmer's market philosophy of keep it local. Kenny prides himself about not only keeping it in the US, and in Kansas, but dealing with companies within 2 counties of his hometown. And get this, he goes as far as sourcing his nuts and bolts from the local hardware store. Now how's that for keeping it local? And the other thing I find inspiring is Kenny utilizes adults with disabilities to package his nuts and bolts. This gives them a sense of purpose as well as earning some money. One thing I forgot to mention, the Sawhaul products come with a lifetime warranty against manufacturing defects. So as you can see, Sawhaul is a value-driven company with excellent product quality at a fair price. What more could you ask for? Check the info section below. I have a link there to GearHaul where you can find all the pricing and the product kits that are available from Sawhaul. Today I'll be showing you several configurations of the Sawhaul. The first one we're going to do is on the loader arm of your tractor. Let me show you the parts that you'll get with it. You get 5 pieces with it. You get the scabbard, you get the 360 base mount, you get the Sawhaul bracket, 1 U-bolt with 2 lock nuts, and an instruction sheet. And for Chris in the woodyard, this is so simple, you won't even need this. And if you decide on getting one of the kits, they will ask you what the width of your arm is here. So you'll have to have that measurement so they get you the correct U-bolt here. When I opened the boxes to inspect this, I couldn't believe how heavy duty the material on this is. Let me show you. And it's also powder coated, so it'll stay rust-free for years. Now a couple comments about the scabbard. The standard scabbard that comes with the saw is very thin, and a lot of times you cut it, it pokes right through here. This one here, though you can't tell from the video, is extremely thick and well made. Now, the main thing that kills plastic when it sits outside is the sun's UV. The Sawhaul scabbard is made of proprietary UV products. And the plastic is also non-dulling, so that when you put your saw in and out, it doesn't tear this area up, nor does it dull your saw during repetitive in and out of this scabbard. And I don't know about you, but my Coyote tractor is allergic to any other color in accessories or attachments than orange, especially if it's green. So the Sawhaul comes in 6 different designer colors, so you should be safe in putting one of them on your tractor, UTV or ATV. Currently the scabbards come in 20, 28, and 36-inch length, so it should cover most of the saws you have. And the last thing to mention is, as you can see, this is a wider platform here at the top, so that when you put your saw in, the dogs won't fall down, and this is thick enough that they won't tear this apart either. I'll be showing a couple of different options for mounting the Sawhaul on your tractor. The first one's going to be on the loader arm, and the only 2 things you need are the U-bracket and the snap lock base. Now, when installing it, remember, this little ring right here has to be facing up or in the 12 o'clock position. Put this around the arm. That's as easy as it gets. Take your nuts, install them here. Had to switch to my 1/2-inch impact because my other impact battery died and I didn't charge it. Now that I've loosely tightened up both nuts, I'm going to position it where I want it. And since I'm working alone, I'm just going to use a quick grip here to get me aligned. That's holding tight. And voila, we're done. That's as hard as it gets. The only other thing we'll need is the Sawhaul bracket right here. There's a little pin right there so it doesn't fall out. Put that on top. That's secure, it's not going anywhere. Now all I need is my scabbard. Position it over here. Give it a slight tap. And that's it. That's the end of the installation. And that's why I say even Chris in the woodyard could be able to do this. One thing I wanted to mention, this is the 28-inch scabbard because I have a 24-inch bar. I also have a 28-inch bar, so I can use it on both saws. And as you notice, I had to offset it slightly because I didn't want it to interfere with the wheel. And if I had a 20-inch scabbard, I wouldn't have to do this. So now that we finished the installation, let's put the saw in and see how it looks. Pretty neat if you ask me. Now we're going to go over option number 2, utilizing the ROPS. I could install it on either side. Unfortunately, on this one, my toolbox is on that side. So we're going to install it on the left side here. I'm going to remove the slow-moving vehicle sign here and we'll mount it right over here. We're going to be using the same 360 snap lock base that we did in the front, but with this one, it comes with 2 long screws in the back here so that you can bolt this ROP adapter on, and it fits perfectly in here. And once again, it's as easy as positioning the bracket on here, taking the ROP bracket, positioning it right there, and installing your nuts. Once you've aligned and tightened it, you snug it up here. We're going to have to use a 9/16 wrench. and the installation is done. And to align everything, I pull my pin here so that I can swivel it where I want it, which is right about there. Take my scabbard bracket here, lock it in, take my scabbard, install it here, give it a little tap, and we're done. So now we're ready to install our saw. And that's as easy as it gets. So we went over two different options for installing the Sawhaul on your tractor. Now let me show you how it works on a UTV. Now if I had a Polaris, this edge right here has little holes in it, and they make special plugs that fall into those holes, and Sawhaul makes a bracket for that. But unfortunately, the Kubota does not. One of the problems that I have with the Kubota is this expanded metal in the back. It will not allow me to put the bracket. Oh, and by the way, we're using the same parts that we did on the tractor romp installation, and that's this bar right here. If this expanded metal was not here, it'd be super easy. I could just mount it on here, on this side like that, put this right over here, and it'd be great. But I can't do that. So I have to finagle it through this expanded metal. Let me show you. What I found on the Kubota is this was the most optimal position for the Sawhaul. It allows me to utilize the dump without obstructing the Sawhaul. And it's so easy to come in and out. Let me show you. Well protected, I can load my whole dump area here and not be obstructed. And after I'm through, I'll go ahead and cut these to the appropriate length with either a hacksaw or the Dremel. And then I get these vacuum plugs here. You can get them any automotive store. And they're just a rubber plug right here. And they'll go right over the cut end of this so you don't get scratched or poked. And the ultimate storage and organization, there's an accessory that you can get from Sawhaul that will allow you to mount this on the wall and store multiple saws. And it's as easy as this. And there you go. All right, now that we've covered the modular Sawhaul system, I wanted to show you one other thing. But before I do, I want to ask you a question. When you're doing your work, what do you do with your phone? Do you put it in the back pocket of your jeans? If you have carpenter pants, do you put it in the side there? What I always find out is when I'm cutting, I get particles or I get sawdust in the charging port. And I've had it where I had to go in and had it cleaned out. Otherwise, I could not charge the phone. I'm going to show you another product from Sawhaul, and that is called the CallHaul, C-A-L-L, Haul. And what it is, a magnetic device that is spring-loaded. The door is spring-loaded. It has a tether in the back. It also comes with a tether here so you don't lose it. And you can mount it anywhere that's magnetic. I'm fortunate that the Coyote comes with a metal hood so that I can just set it right there. And so I don't lose it, I just take this, have a loop, put it around the magnet. Now I know I can't lose it. And if you want to see a torture test, go to Sawhaul and see Kenny throwing his phone around. You won't believe it. But if I put it on here, I have this door here, and I can just take my phone, set it inside, and then use the other tether, and I can see everything inside as well. So whether I put it on the hood or whether I mount it on either side of the loader arms, it's accessible and I can hear it and I can see it as well. And this is a nice plastic case that it comes in. And based on the information, the rare earth magnet that they use is rated for 50 pounds. That's pretty much. And there's another innovative item from Sawhaul. I hope you found this video informative and entertaining, and if so, please like, share, and subscribe. Give me a thumbs up as well, would you please? And leave some comments below about what you think of the Sawhaul. And remember, pass it forward, make the world a better place. And don't be a tool, watch Tony's Cool Tools. Until I see you next time, have a great one.